It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit
a mechanic that takes away all control away from the player and randomly decides the outcome of a fight by complete luck. It removes any worth of skill when it is just possible for you to instantly die without any way of you being able to do anything about it just because of complete chance. If you somehow already cannot see why this feature should be removed from the game instantly and forever, you either haven't played the game for very long or you don't know shit about basic game design. Randumb crits are the worst thing about TF2, period, and straight out removing them would instantly make the experience of the game way better than it already is. It can completely fuck up the balance in this otherwise very well balanced game. Not only that, but it's a pain in the ass to die to when you know that it isn't your fault, but the game's fault. Which, if you know even a little bit about game design, you should know that that is horrible game design. But there are people out there who play the game who somehow think that random crits make the game better and are a core part of TF2. So let me just roast every single argument that I've seen at all. Randomly getting killed by something that was out of control of not only you, but also the player who killed you is not fun. It's not fun to have all your time, patience, practice, and skill be all for nothing because of some random number generator. If you want to say it adds variety to the game, you must be really oblivious to not have noticed our 100 plus maps, multiple core game modes and more other fun-based game modes, the tons of weapons and high skill ceiling, the community servers. I don't think randomly dying because RNG gives variety to the game. If we are going to go into the silly nature of TF2, random crits do nothing to it either. The silly nature of TF2 can be summed up with things like hoovies, looping taunts, market gardening, demo nights, sentry jumping, my fucking conscientious objective. Remember when Lazy Purple resurrected himself from the grave and turned into a fucking video making god? His first big hitter, TF2 is a timeless masterpiece, talks about and explains exactly the title of the video. Why the game is so amazing, from its solid gameplay to its silly nature. However, when talking about all of this, he never brings up random crits. Once. Why? Because he knows how shitty the design of them is. And then immediately in his next video,
perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. The art style is coherent. Random crits don't exist. Random crits don't exist. Random crits don't exist.
Nice job rephrasing random crits make the game fun. This can be easily summed up with a comment and a reply I saw on the TF2 subreddit. I have nearly 5,000 hours in TF2 and I absolutely love crits. Some of the most fun experiences I've ever had in video games comes from crits, where something unthinkable happens and completely surprises you. Cornered by 2 enemies at low health, double melee crit saves you. Missed healing to our target with Crusader's crossbow, accidentally killed the Lime Scout instead with a crit. Losing the last control point to 5 enemies, sticky crit saves the game. I understand the frustration behind being the one who receives the crit, but I think it's far more rememberable when it happens to you. Also, the mechanic of random trance rarely sets aside TF2 from other redundant first-person shooters like Counter-Strike and Overwatch. Crits should definitely be removed from competitive modes. On casual servers, however, I think it is extreme to suggest removing crits. I have nearly 12,000 hours in TF2 and I absolutely hate crits. Some of the most unfun experiences I've ever had come from dropping Uber, losing my nest or getting a team push destroyed by random crits. You manage to corner a weakened enemy, melee crit saves him and punishes you. You manage to dodge some stickies from 3 pipes from a demo. 4th one will crit and gravitate towards you, killing you both. Manage to coordinate a push and conquer the point, making your team win. Sticky crit completely fill you and most of your teammates with anger and annoyance. I understand the joy and satisfaction behind being the one who gets a kill, but I think it's unjustified and doesn't compensate to the obnoxiousness you are robbed of a fair fight. Also, TF2 has many more traits that make it unique and charming than this annoying mechanic of random chance. Crits are already removed from competitive modes for a reason. On casual servers, however, I think it's idiotic to suggest keeping crits. So you mean the weapons that have the stat of no random crits? Just let me tell you this. That stat is a terribly useless downside to begin with. An awful excuse for balance. Any weapon that uses it as a downside also has another downside to compensate so that it's actually balanced. I even play Spy in UGC Highlander and I see absolutely no balance issues without random crits. The only two weapons that have this stat that are banned in the UGC Highlander League are the Short Circuit. However, that is due to the fact it can delete projectiles and not anything to do with random crits. And the Enforcer. Wait, why is the Enforcer banned but not the Diamondback? Okay, that's weird. This is a competitive league, where gameplay balance is of the utmost importance, and nobody has complained about the removal of random crits. No, not really. People mainly use melee weapons to kill off light classes or finish players off at low health, seeing how melee weapons use the projectile hitbox, making them easier to aim. Some people do use it just to gamble random crits, but that's honestly just sad. Why do you think spies butter knife people to death? Because they're on low health and it just gets the job done. They are very heavily influenced by RNG, so no, they are random. Random crits do not help new players. Random crits are specifically designed to favour more experienced players who do more damage due to the way crit chance works that I'm sure everyone knows.
Critical hits are one of the features that resulted from our focus on pacing. The critical hit system attempts to slightly influence the highs and lows of the game by increasing the chance of a critical hit based upon the player's recent performance. In summary, the better you're doing, the more likely you'll continue to do well. This helps create those rare high moments where a single player goes on a rampage and gets 3 or 4 kills in rapid succession.
And if you're saying that even when a new player does get a kill with a random crit, that it gives them a sense of pride and accomplishment, in fact it just confuses them. They don't know what they did. All they end up learning is that mindlessly spam and maybe the game will give them a kill. It's a very bad habit to teach new players. By skill, you mean dealing damage, which some classes have an easier time doing than others such as engineer or soldier. That's the kind of excuse a toxic Hanzo main in Overwatch would say that he is clearly the best player on their team just because he has gold damage, but didn't get a single kill because he just spammed Reinhardt's shield. Does the fact that a game is casual negate any major flaws that it may have? No! Oh, Zelda Breath of the Wild is a casual game, so the fact that the second part of the final boss was complete horseshit and the ending being unsatisfying should just be ignored, and you guys who are all upset about it are stupid. I think that you're forgetting that not all weapons that can crit can be air blasted, and you can never 100% dodge hit scan. Classes like Scout have 125 HP, so that they can get hit once by a directed explosive, so that they have one chance to fuck up. Random crits remove it and punish you for no reason. Compare this to the blue shell from Mario Kart. The blue shell is an item that can be randomly obtained about 6 clicks or lower. When used, it zooms ahead to the player in first and blows them up. It may be random, however experienced players can pay attention to it on the map and see when a shell is coming, so they are prepared for it. There are multiple things they can do about the blue shell depending on the situation. Drop out of first so the shell goes after someone else, zoom ahead as far as possible, catch others in the blast to slow them down too, or use a mushroom boost with nearly frame perfect timing to completely deny the blue shell. It keeps races tight and helps less experienced players while not leaving the winning player without control over the situation. Comp takes forever to queue for, and most community servers are filled with loud ass ads or mods, which can be fun at times, but it can get very boring very quickly when not playing anything else. And if I made my own server, it would be a waste of money due to the fact that not many people would play on it. And yes, I do play UGC Highlander, but those games only happen for about an hour on Mondays. The rest of my time is filled with mostly casual, where random crits exist for some reason. Nice, generic insults. Here's the thing, when the game has this high of a skill ceiling, people are going to get pissed off when the only reason that they lose is RNG. I mean, I'm all for the silly nature of TF2. I don't kill friendlies if I notice them just messing about, but random crits have no place in the game. So yeah, if I haven't convinced you that random crits should be removed now and forever, well, you are one thick cunt, and I mean thick mentally, not like Uncle Dane thick. One suggestion I have is to add the ability to call a vote to disable random crits in casual, and the TF team can get the stats of how often random crits stay enabled or disabled, and look towards removing them. Another thing that a lot of people haven't noticed is at the end of casual games, sometimes you get polled, but please pay attention, because occasionally it has been known to ask you about random crits. If this happens, input awful. Some people think that this is just a normal poll, so be careful. That's really about it. If you're interested, consider checking out my other social medias such as my Discord server, Twitch, and Twitter. My Discord server even is JontoBot. It's still in development, but it comes online at times and is useful. Anyway, I'm done here. Now I'm just heading off into the comments to lose a few brain cells and maybe an IQ point along the way. Thanks guys, and bye.